Let me just bring out, just in case I need to refer to some notes, just to give you, remember the discussion is obviously between us, but we want to help people out there, the audience.
Yeah, basically I want him to tell me why I should follow his version of Jesus
I know that.
and Christianity. Okay. Remember I said his version.
Just one of the things, Bible says, iron sharpens iron. You know certain things that I don't know.
Are you for real, man?
That will also help one another, you understand? Because that's why I like to converse more.
Yeah, Darren is freezing.
Debate actually. Can you hear me? Am I good?
Yes, you're good.
All right then.
So tonight,
okay.
Well, tonight, Godwin will tell us why we, the non-Christians, should follow his version of Jesus Christ and Christianity.
So what we're going to discuss really, and I think it's the most important thing. I was just chatting to one of one of my good friends, Muslim friends, it goes, good guy, and you know, one of the things he said to me was, he said, the most important thing for me is truth. Nothing's more important than truth. He says, you know what? If I find truth, I will drop Islam like a bad habit. That's his exact words. He said, you know, truth is the most important thing. And so for me as a Christian, I said, well, you know what? You got something there, bro. And I shook his hand and said, you know, I wish you the best on your quest for truth, because truth is the most important thing. And so, again, you know, speak to my Muslim friend. Remind me your name, brother. I keep forgetting.
Hussein.
Godwin. Yeah? Godwin, yeah. All right. So one of the things I always ask my Muslim friends is this. We look into the Quran and we find Allah. He makes these statements, okay?
No. I need to stop you there 1 second. We're talking about Christianity.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, but we're gonna do a comparison.
You've already established Islam is the truth, so you need to tell me why you haven't.
No. Do you believe Islam is the truth?
I believe it's the truth. Yeah.
Well, let's cross-reference that. Let's look at both Islam and Christianity, and then we can draw strands and find out which one is the truth and which one is false, because they both can't be truth. Why? Because they contradict each other's statements. And so how do we identify truth? So first of all, I'm going to speak about Islam, and then I'm going to bring a comparison to Christianity.
Before you start with Christianity,
sure.
Can I say my first issue, the issues which I have, and you may want to address them. Obviously, I've studied your faith, so these are a few issues. If you can. Not refute, just address them. Okay, what I'll do is let's just kind of draw a foundation first, okay? Yeah. So, okay, we have Muhammad and we have Jesus Christ, okay? Jesus Christ, according to the Bible, okay, he claims to be, in John chapter 14 verse 6, he says, I am the way, the truth and the life. Okay. Now he says, uses the word, 1 second, he uses the word, I'll speak and then you come in afterwards, yeah? He uses the word the truth, okay? The truth is a name that, even when you go to the Old Testament, the book of Psalms, and also even in the Quran, Allah also, his divine titles, the truth, okay? One of his 99 names, right? And so, again, if we're talking about establishing truth, we have to see who we follow. We follow Jesus Christ, and whether he fits with that narrative of truth. And also, we have to look at Muhammad, who is your example, your role model, and one who you emulate in order to affirm whether it's true or not. So, we're looking into both scriptures. I've shown you what it says in John 14:6. Okay, now in the Quran, you have in Surah 7. Can we stick to your first we are. I'm just cross-referencing, and then you can come back. Yeah. You look in Surah 7:99, in Surah 8:30. And many other texts. I'll read them out for you just so that we don't get the confusion. So, let me read them for you. Surah 7, ayah 99. Are they then saved from Allah's deception? No one feels safe from Allah's deception except those... Hold on, let me just... Quran 354. Quran 7:99 first, yeah? Okay. Are they then saved from Allah's deception? No one feels safe from Allah's deception except those that shall perish. Surah 8 verse 30. And when the unbelievers plotted deception against you, O Muhammad, to imprison you or kill you or expel you, they plotted deception. But Allah also plotted deception, and Allah is the best of deceivers. So Allah is saying he's the best deceivers. Just a minute, let me just finish. No, you can respond straight after. I'm just going to round off. In Surah 354, it says this. and they, the unbelievers, plan to deceive. And Allah planned to deceive the unbelievers. And Allah is the best of deceivers. Now, throughout the Quran, Allah is saying, listen, this is my claim. Allah is saying, I am the best of deceivers. I deceive people. Then He gives instructions to Muhammad to deceive other people. Then he gives instructions to mankind to deceive. Someone like yourself who's a follower of the Islamic faith, he instructs them to deceive. And so the question is this: if Allah is a self-proclaimed deceiver, okay, and you are a follower of Muhammad who gets his revelation from Allah, why would Allah or why would the Quran be the source for truth? That's my question to you.
So what translation are you reading?
This is, okay, regardless of the translation.
No.
Can I respond to that?
What translation are you reading?
Yeah, can I respond to the question?
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
The Quran was written in Arabic.
Yeah.
So the translation isn't so important. What's important is the Arabic word. Is that correct? Yeah? Right. So when we look at the word deception, the Arabic word is M-A-K-R, right? And this is the word that's translated. Now you can look into numerous dictionaries, even translated by scholarly work, okay? And they'll show you that word is not like some people interpret schema or plotter or so forth.
I have here the Sahih International. So
Yes.
Sahih Authentic International.
Okay.
It says they did. It's not deceive, it's plan. So they plan, and Allah also plans. And Allah is the best of planners. This is the translation I've read throughout the years, and this is the main authentic translation. So where are you getting your translation?
Okay. So let's do this, yeah? I think we need to define or identify what the correct word in Arabic, because that's the most important thing, is for deceiver. Okay? So let's look at that. Let's order before we move on. Before we move on, let's look at what the scholars say about the actual word. And so let's quickly do that. I'm just gonna quickly pull this up. Just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna find it. All right. Okay. So let's look at this. You got Edward Williams. Let me just talk a little bit about him. Okay, this is the word makra, the literal meaning of makra. Okay. Now Edward William Lanes, he's the Arabic English in the Arabic English lexicon, is the most revered and scholarly English dictionary of the Arabic. Hold on 1 second. English dictionary of the Arabic language from the Lane's lexicon. All right. So let's look at how he translated it. Okay. Let's look at this. Just give me a second and just pull this out. Okay, so it says this. Mim kafra, it says this. To practice deceit or guile or circumvention, practice evasion or illusion, okay? To plot, to exercise art or craft or cunning act or policy practice stratagem. Let's look at another scholar, Hans Wehr. Okay, and if you know anything about Hans Wehr, it says here the Hans Wehr dictionary is regarded as a standard scholarly dictionary of Arabic for English-speaking students and scholars. Let's see what he has to say there. Let's go into it. Okay, so it says this: makra, to deceive, delude, cheat, dupe, gull, double cross. And so, and it goes on makra, cunning, craftiness, and so on and so forth. Let's go further. Let's go into the Arabic lexicon because we want to make sure this is clear. So now you have the Arabic lexicon. See if we can get in there. Okay. Right, and then here again, Allah, the best deceiver. And so, the point I'm making anyway, you go and research this for yourself.
I've researched it.
You research it. When you look at the word itself, what you find is you have Muslim apologists and they will misinterpret purposely to deceive because they're commanded by Allah to deceive, and they will interpret it as plotter or scheming, whereas the actual planner, well, the actual word, when you go into the Arabic, actually literally means to deceive. Now let me tell you what. Let me re-emphasize my point. Look at this. Look at what I'm going to show you right now, and this will make it clear what I'm trying to say to you. Now, okay, let's look at this now. So in the book of in the surah 54, I believe. Okay, so that's let me just get this up for you. Sorry, 1 second. Right, yes. So, Surah 3:28. Have you ever read this before?
Read it.
Okay, so it says this. Let not the believers, because you got your Quran up there, but I read from this. Let not the believers take for friends or helpers unbelievers rather than believers. If any do that, in nothing will there be help from Allah, except by the way of precaution, that ye may guard yourselves from them. But Allah cautions you. Sorry, sir. 5:45. Yeah.
I'll be done in 5 years.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So, except by the way of precaution that ye may guard yourself. So he's saying. So what he's saying here, if you read the Quran or if you read this verse, Surah 3, Ayah 28, he's saying, do not take, for example, myself or another unbeliever, because I don't believe your Quran, or an atheist or an agnostic. Do not take them for friends, because it says here, if any do that, nothing will there be help from Allah, except hold on, except by the way of precaution that ye may guard yourself. So if, for example, you wanted to protect yourself or guard yourself from some type of harm, then Allah then allows you to lie or deceive or to get yourself out of the situation. Whereas Allah, which contradicts his name, because Allah is supposed to be the Al-Haq, the truth. But yet he then commands his followers like yourself to deceive.
Get yourself out of danger.
Right, that's my problem. Okay, so the problem with that is that Allah or your God is supposed to be this perfect. No, your God is supposed to be this perfect, perfect being, meaning he's perfectly just, perfectly holy, perfectly true, perfectly loving, and so on and so forth. Right? But then, although he's all these things perfectly, and he's supposed to be perfectly true, yet there seems to be a deficiency in his truth. Because for some cases he will allow you to lie, or for some cases, whereas our God, regardless of the situation, that's why if you read in the book of Acts, and also, let me just finish this. In the book of Acts, and you find many of the apostles, and also even in history, many of the apostles died speaking the truth. So, God didn't grant you permission to tell a lie, even if your life was at lie, because God is the perfect truth. He is the truth. And so, it shows that there is a deficiency or defection in his holiness, because he claims to be the perfect truth, but yet he allows deception. He allows you to lie to me. So, for example, you could come to Godwin and say, hey, I'm your friend, I'm your mate. You really want to set me up. But in reality, is this what it's saying? Let me just read you.
I think it's a blanket statement.
Let me read you what Ibn Kathir said about that verse. Ibn Kathir says this. Al-Bukhari. Ibn Kathir, yes. He says this about Surah 3:28. Yeah. So we just focus on each other. Al-Bukhari, compiler the most so it says this. Abu Darda, a companion and pupil of Muhammad, said, we smile in the face of some people, although our hearts curse them. Al-Hassan. So he said, hey, listen, hey, we smile in your face, have a laugh, have a joke, but then our hearts are cursing them. That's a deception. That's from that's not the correct. That's one of your top commentators, top Scott Ibn Kathir. This is Tasfir, and so he writes, and if you speak to most of your imams or your scholars, they go by what Ibn Kathir, because he's one of the top narrators and commentators and scholars of the Quran. Let me just
hang on. You're going on.
Sure.
But didn't Paul say to a Jew, I'm a Jew, to a Christian, I'm a Christian? Isn't that deceiving?
Okay. All right. Let's go to that in 1 second. But can we first clarify?
Why 1 second?
No, because we want to first clarify, because we don't want it to be whereby, okay, Keto calling the pot black and you're just as bad as me, so maybe we're both wrong. Maybe it's the Sikh that's right. Maybe we should join Hinduism. But what we want to do is we want to clarify where we're at. Can we confirm? Can we confirm that over and over again? Whereas we read the Tasfirs, the Quran, we read the Hadiths. Here in the Hadith says, Surah 49, 857, it says, he who makes peace between the people by inventing good information or saying good things is not a liar. So it's okay. What Allah is saying, essentially, is that you can go and invent something, which means
he's an actor.
Does not what say event?
Yes.
Did I use a different word? So it says you can go and invent something. Okay. I'm expressive. So, but the point is that your Quran tells you to lie. It tells you to deceive. No. Allah tells you Okay. So the question is this: did Allah command command his followers or Muhammad to deceive? Did he do that or not?
Deceive in what situation though?
I've given.
No.
So there is deception.
Okay, so there is deception, yeah. All right. He's an honest Muslim. We like that. But
What kind of deception? No.
He's a realist. He's keeping it real. He can be a Christian one day by God's grace.
Because every time I hear Christians say, when I pick up some Bible verses, it's a parable. They dance around it. They do gymnastics.
Now, what you do? This is what Muslims do. Muslims, what they must do is. What they say, they don't always have all the information in the Quran.
Want it to say this.
Hold on, no. I want you to hear what I'm saying, right? What Muslims say is that they don't have all the background information in the Quran. So what they do is they go to the hadith and the tasfir.
I know.
Even though there's nothing in the Quran or there's no instruction from Allah to go to the hadiths. There was no such thing as hadiths when Muhammad was around.
What is a hadith?
The hadiths is the sunnah, is the teachings and so.
You're carrying on.
Sure, go on.
Doesn't the Quran say the Quran and the Sunnah?
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
Well, the question is this. The question we're asking is this. You're saying that it's interpretations, okay? So what the Quran does, what Muslims do, okay? They say, well, do you know what? We can't, for example, I read you a verse in Surah 328.
Are you saying there's not context in what you can
Right. And so how they get the context or how they get the background is they go to your hadiths or they go to the sirats or they go to tasfir. So that's why I've read you from your hadiths of your tasfir. And you've admitted that it's true. Okay.
So far you haven't said anything that's raised my eyebrows or, oh my God, is this true? I understand the Quran to be what it is, and it's talking about different situations and what you can do. He said, if you invent a lie just to keep the peace, that is not lying. I don't see anything wrong with that.
That's what I said. Yeah, it says if you invent a lie, if you create or invent a lie, something that's not true, can it be true and false at the same time?
No.
So it's false.
Listen to what I'm saying. If you create peace between two warring parties, they're killing each other, they want to behead them.
Give example, So two people are fighting.
There's another group of people, they're going to come, they're going to kill the men, women, children, and donkeys. Sorry, that sounds... Sorry, I lost my train.
It's that weed, man. I'm joking.
So
go on.
Two warring parties, they're going to kill each other, men, women, children, even the donkeys. And I create a lie and there's peace now. What's wrong with that? You tell me.
Okay, so what you've and I appreciate what you're saying right now, because what you're actually saying is that hey, as long as for example, let's give example. Say a guy is having an argument, or a married man's having an argument with his wife, and then somehow you want to bring peace. So what you do is you go and lie to the man, maybe say something that's not true about his wife. Perhaps say, your wife, she said all these wonderful things about you. You lie to him, and then you go to the wife, and then you start to lie. Hold on. Wait, let me finish up, brother. Let me summarize. And then you go to the wife, and then you invent something and say, well, you know what? He said this, that, and the other. Okay, and so you do all of that, and you've lied to them. Okay, you are now saying, okay, hey, I've deceived that person, but it's fine because it brings them together. Whereas when you look at a holy God, a perfect God, a God who's perfectly true, and everything he says is true, this takes away from his perfection if he allows such acts to do, regardless of that. And that's the point we're making. Yes.
This is the hypocrisy. Your Holiness, you have an issue with this lying thing, but your Holiness...
So you don't have an issue with lying?
Let me finish. You have an issue.
What is this? Yeah.
This can't be a holy God. He's saying if you want to bring peace, you can lie. But that's a holy God. And your perception of a holy God is a God that says kill the men, women, children, and donkeys. So I think you're confused about, would a holy God say kill the children? That doesn't sound like a holy God. But you have an issue with the lying two warring parties to bring the peace.
Okay.
So do you think your perception of holiness is quite twisted?
Okay, so let's go back to what we're saying. So I just wanted to the reason why I wanted to speak upon truth is because, as I said from the beginning of our conversation, the most important thing
Is your God holy?
Just a minute. The most important thing is attaining truth, because regardless of especially coming from an Islamic faith and also as a Christian, we believe that one day, we will stand before the judge, the great judge. We believe Jesus Christ is coming back to judge. You believe Jesus Christ is coming back to judge, not Muhammad. And so we're going to stand before the judge, the great judge, one day. And what he says Jesus is coming back. But anyway, the point is that they're going to judge us, and we must, hold on just a minute. Let me finish. We must give an account, okay? For whether we sincerely and genuinely sought truth or we didn't. And so, what I'll say is this: I find it, as a Christian, very difficult. No, 1 second, you asked me to preach, so I will. I find it very difficult to trust or believe in a God who says, you know what, I am the greatest deceiver, I command my Sahaba to deceive, and I am, and I command Muhammad to deceive. And so that's what I'll simply ask you. Yeah.
So you said your God is your God is holy, you said. I'll answer it.
Well, are we speaking about truth, or should we move on to something else?
You said earlier, says, if two parties are warring and you create a lie and you bring peace, that's not a liar, that's not a holy God, but your God is holy.
Right, okay.
Our
God is holy, but I'm saying, I want to know where we are in our structured conversation, because what we don't want to do...
You didn't answer it.
You're speaking about holiness, but we're speaking about truth as well, okay? So relate to truth, yes.
So
how does it...
But your God is holy, you said, yes?
Yes. And it's true.
What about all the, the murder of children, the rape, slavery? Does that sound like a holy God? Okay, so we're going to move on to that subject. We'll move on to that subject. Yes, God is holy. God is... Hold on one second. Yeah.
Doesn't it say in the Quran you can take a woman with your right hand?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
we don't want to go off subject. I know, listen, brother, I hear that.
No, I got it.
The thing is... Yeah, exactly.
So
listen.
Got double standards.
No, hold on, guys. The reason why you've noticed that I haven't gone to your Quran yet, I can go to Surah 8.
You just went to...
No, one second. I'm obviously the conversation, I'm trying to stick to the topic, which is about the truth. Now I can go to Surah 9 if you want me to go. I can go to Surah 8.
Go to Surah 9.
I can go to numerous surahs that speak about violence. But I don't want to do that. The reason why is because I want to keep this subject alive by speaking specifically about truth. So, if you want to address something about the Bible regarding the topic, which is truth, then go ahead.
Okay,
yes.
Let's talk this semantics. Name me. Hello, Mr. Man.
Yes.
Name me one prophet before Jesus that preached Trinity, the three gods. And
okay.
Name me.
All right, we're gonna have to summarize now. Because once again, our Muslim brother is not engaging. He's not engaging with the discussion. Okay. The topic's about truth, and now he's deflected it onto the Trinity. So we've come to the end of our discussion.
No, stop.
And all I would say to my brother, is Jesus said he's the truth. Okay,
let's go to
Allah says he's the truth. Okay? Yahweh in the Old Testament says he's the truth. It's a divine title. I would encourage you to come to Jesus Christ.
Okay, I'm coming.
Because Allah is a deceiver. Okay, he commands you to deceive, and he commands the prophets and also Muhammad to deceive.
So
I would encourage you to come to Jesus Christ. And so let's. I just want to end that. Yeah.
I'm nearly there. I'm ready to become a believer. Yeah? No. Who is John?
Brother, you're not taking it seriously, are you?
Okay.
Do you understand that do you understand that your eternal soul is in jeopardy?
Yeah. Don't worry.
But you're joking. You're laughing. It's not a joke, my brother.
Can I ask you?
The reason I took time out to speak to you is because I thought I wanted to help you.
Offended?
No, I'm asking. I'm saying it for your sake. I want you to take it seriously.
So you want to help me?
Okay.
So if I have questions, you're saying, "Oh, look, he's gone."
Right, but you start talking about the Trinity.
Okay, I'm not gonna go Trinity now.
Okay. Speak about the truth.
Okay.
The truth.
Your Bible. What?
I'm saying, are you going to speak about the truth, or are you going to speak about something else? Just explain.
Isn't your Bible the truth?
Right. So I want you to speak about the truth. Yes.
Okay, the truth. Your Bible the Mark, Matthew. Okay, Mark, Matthew, Luke, and John.
Yes.
Who are they? Can you identify who they are? How can you take the word for gospel? Did they meet Jesus? How come events which are spoken about in each gospel, the same events, they contradict each other? Example. Who was Matthew?
Hold on. You two questions there. Two questions. Let me give you just a minute. Two questions. The first question you're saying is who are Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John? Okay. So Matthew was apostle. Okay. Mark was eyewitness. Luke was eyewitness. And he interviewed eyewitnesses. Hold on, just a minute.
He's following the Quran.
Hold on. Can I respond to your answer? Okay. So Matthew and John were apostles. Okay. Matthew and John were apostles. Right. Okay.
Can you stop there now? Matthew was the apostle. What did Matthew do as a job?
He was a tax collector.
But why does it say in Matthew, if I wrote book of Matthew, why would I write in there, I was sitting in my office and Jesus came past and Jesus had come with me and Matthew went with him? Why would I speak of myself?
He was sitting in his office.
Or whatever, he's a tax collector. Why would Matthew speak of him in the third person? If he was to say, I was there, Jesus came to me, and I went with Jesus. But it says Matthew was there. John does the same as well. Yeah, John does the same. Did you know this?
Yeah. But the thing is, why would that make a difference? This is really ridiculous. I tell you why this is so ridiculous. Hold on 1 second.
What you're saying
is ridiculous. Because
you're right, Anna.
And the thing is, the reason why it's a very weak and very poor argument. I thought you were going to say something about where they contradicted themselves, or where something wasn't true, or where something was. See, now you're all over the place. Now you're all over the place. So wait, hold on.
Stop.
You're not making sense, my brother.
When I question, he's saying he wants to bring the truth. When I question it, he's doing gymnastics.
All right. So I can see you're not sincere.
I am sincere.
You're not sincere. Because you're not making any sense. You're jumping. You started talking about the Trinity. Then you started speaking about writing in the third person.
Make this simple. Give us one contradiction within the gospel.
Yes. Yes.
Within the gospel.
Yes.
Yeah? There's so many.
There's so many. That's what we say. Go on. Leave him to go. Yeah.
He said Matthew was written by the tax collector, but Matthew speaks of him in the third person. Why is that?
So how's that contradiction?
That is a contradiction.
How's that contradiction? That's how Hebrew writers it.
Who came to? No, I'm gonna get to that.
Bro, he'll be in trouble if you don't get him in trouble. Adam, don't get him in trouble. Because the thing is, you're not on camera. At least we need to show him. Right.
My issue is the events which are spoken of in each gospel, and they're talking about the same event.
Okay.
They're very contradictory.
But you said this about for the last 5 minutes. But you haven't given me any contradictions.
So in the book of Matthew, they were on a boat. Jesus was on the isle, and Jesus walked on water. And Jesus came into a boat and they worshipped him and all of that.
Yeah, because he was God.
In the book of Mark, it doesn't say that. He was on the water, they knew who he was, he came on the boat, their hearts were hardened. Did they worship him or were they...
Show us the contradiction, brother. No, I want to see the contradiction. No, he's saying the contradiction. It's your claim. You did. Show us your contradiction.
I'm going to go one after another.
No.
When was Jesus crucified?
Brother, no. Now you're going to crucifixion. Brother, we have to round this up. He's not being serious.
No.
My Muslim brothers, once again, is insincere.
How?
Disingenuous.
How? No.
He's moving the goalposts.
No.
He doesn't have an answer. And so, once again, I encourage you to put away the lies, put away the deception of Islam. And come to Jesus Christ.
Nearly there.
And that's the end, yeah? That's it, we finished. Finito.
Take your man.